broadcasting without any interruptions or technical difficulties or what have you. So just bear with me 1 second. We'll get straight into it. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and drop your questions in the chat or what have you, and I'll get to them. All right. So bear with me 1 second. Okay. No sweat. All right, we up on YouTube. Check the Facebook real quick. All right. All right. All right. Hold on. Okay. All right. There you go. For some reason we got up on Rhode Island on Facebook. It's no sweat. What I'll do is I'll hit up Rock, see if he could do something about that. It doesn't look like we're on Facebook, but you know, man. In the meantime, we just gonna get it in on we'll get it in on the YouTube channel. All right. Um, so with that being said, also let me post this number in the chat on YouTube. So, you know, if you're watching it, you want to call in, you know what I mean? We got the call in number for that reason. You can get up in here. All right. So bear with me 1 second. I'm going to get this number and I'm going to post it in the chat for y'all right quick. All right. Okay. Where we at? Uber conference. All right. All right. 720 835 5166 720 835 5166. All right. Salaki 720. Come on. All right, Most High Christ. So, if you're watching on the YouTube, I posted the call-in number in the chat. So if anybody wants to call in, you're more than welcome to do that. However, in the meantime, I want to get straight into the business with the lesson for the day. All right. That is, if nobody has any questions. So we'll get straight into it. So, all right, Most High Christ. Let me go to, actually, start it off with we're gonna start off in Matthew 15 and 21. All right, Matthew 15 and 21. Matthew 15 and 21. There we go. All right, there we go. So we on that, right? Now, we've been taught, that integration with all peoples, all different nations, is something that is a good thing. You know what I mean? It's almost the worldwide standard for, Christianity. Not almost, but it is the worldwide standard for Christianity. It's the worldwide standard for Islam. You know what I mean? Islam used to be radical, and they used to call the white man the devil like us. You understand? However, with the progression of time, they transitioned into, loving all people, and Islam being the acceptance of all nations, and everybody from all around the world come travel around, come take your voyage to Mecca or what have you, and worship Allah in peace and unity. You know what I mean? Thing with Christianity, all you have to do is go down the block. You know what I mean? Go down the block, pop in them Christian doors, and everybody is welcome. You know what I mean? Everybody in there is welcome. God loves everybody, John 3:16 or what have you. The whole spiel, the whole ideology, the satanic ideology of the Christian church will be pushed on you. All right. However, with the times that we're currently in, a thorough evaluation, is necessary. You know what I mean? A thorough evaluation is necessary. And when I say that, I mean we have to look at what's going on around us. You know what I mean? Like with this whole coronavirus or what have you, you know what I mean? This head's dropping out here left and right. And what you have to understand first and foremost is that that's the Most High doing that. You know what I mean? The Most High sent a plague on America called the coronavirus. You know what I mean? For all the wickedness, all the atrocities that they committed against so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. For the murder, the absolute slaughter of 77 million Native Indians. For the enslavement of blacks and Hispanics. You understand? The Lord has sent forth a terrible plague loose on this earth, and it will consume all of his enemies. You understand? Now, the important thing to understand about that, if you black or Hispanic, is if you align yourself with the enemy of the Most High, then you become an enemy to the Most High yourself. You understand? So, being the Lord's chosen people, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the Lord's chosen people. You know what I mean? And the Most High set up a standard of living. You know what I mean? And with that standard, He never intended for all of us to be integrated into one society, into a melting pot. You understand? The Most High made the Israelites His chosen people to be some people that is separated from all the other nations. Your Christian pastor would disagree. However, you know what I mean, every aspect of Christianity, as far as to my knowledge, is a firm and stern lover of Jesus Christ. You understand? They love them some Jesus Christ. Well, what I want to jump straight into is to show the character of Christ when it came to dealing with the other nations, the heathen nations, nations that were not a part of the 12 tribes that make up the nation of Israel. You understand? So we'll get into that. And, with that said, I just want to get straight into it. Matter of fact, before I do, however, let me just check something real quick. Bear with me once again, Salakia. But let's see. All right. No sweat. Let's get it. We'll keep rolling. All right. So, no sweat. Let's read Matthew, the 15th chapter. Like I said, we're going to start at the verse 21. All right. Matthew 15 and 21 is where we'll start. All right. All right. Matthew chapter 15, verse 21. Then Jesus, Yahushua, the world ignorantly calls Yahushua Jesus. You understand? But it's, the Hebrew name for that, is Yahushua, which means Savior or Deliverer. All right. Went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. All right. And behold, so now look, and this is what happened. Look at what happened here. A woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him. All right. So a Canaanite woman came out of the same coast where he departed to, and she cried to him, saying what? Saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. Right? This is also an Immaculate Conception cut. All right? Immaculate Conception, they like to teach you that Christ came from the Most High impregnated Mary, and thus Christ was born. Joseph did not have sex with Mary. That's a lie. Even this Canaanite woman knew that Christ came from a man. All right, the son of David. That's why she acknowledged him like that. All right, let's read on. My daughter, and now what we see here is that this Canaanite woman is seeking mercy from Christ. All right, she's seeking mercy from Christ. Let's keep that in mind. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. All right. So her daughter's grievously vexed with the devil. Let's read on. But he answered her not a word. You understand? What does that mean? That means that Christ ignored this Canaanite woman. He ignored her. So here we have a woman asking Christ to have mercy on her and deliver her daughter from a devil that she's suffering from. And Christ ignored her when she asked him that. You know what I mean? And that doesn't sound like the soft, all loving Jesus Christ that we all know. You know what I mean? Hate and rage and all of that. You know what I mean? But there was an equal balance, however. You know what I mean? But Christ loved a certain people. And we'll find out who Christ did love. All right? Let's read on. But answered her not a word, and his disciples came. Salaki. Oh, Salaki. Ooh. Let me get back where I was at. And his disciples came. Right? So now, the disciples of Christ, the 12 disciples of Christ, they came on the scene and besought him. And they came after Christ, like, they was looking for him. Saying, send her away, for she crieth after us. So the disciples of Christ, who learned under Christ, when this woman was crying and begging for mercy, now mind you, Christ was going out and he was healing he was healing the blind. He was making the blind see. He was making the lame walk. You understand? He was healing all people. He was healing people of their infirmities or what have you. However, and the disciples were also, and they was rolling with when he was doing it. All right. So keep that in mind, that they were out there healing the sick. You know what I mean? Healing those brothers and sisters that was vexed with devils. You know what I mean? Making the blind see, making the lame walk. And with that being said, yet and still, when this Canaanite woman came and approached Christ asking for mercy, Christ ignored her. And not only did Christ ignore her, but furthermore, the disciples of Christ came to him and they was asking him, yo, Salakia, sir, can you please get rid of this broad? You know what I mean? Like, it was an annoyance. And the disciples of Christ, they wanted her off the scene. They wanted Christ to dismiss her. You know what I mean? That's what they wanted from Christ. They wanted Christ to dismiss this heathen woman, this Canaanite woman. You know what I mean? Now, Canaanite woman, meaning she was an inhabitant of the land. That's why I said, Lockie, I forgot to point that out. That's why I said woman of Canaan. You know what I mean? This woman wasn't a Canaanite. Yeah, however, you understand, but she did live in that land. All right, we'll get to who she was ethnically in a later portion. All right, but for now, let's hone in on the fact that Christ, the Savior, the Deliverer, you know what I mean? The brother that was out there in them streets, healing the sick, making the blind see, and making the lame walk, ignored this woman when she pleaded to him for him to have mercy on her, right? And to relieve her daughter of a devil that she was grievously vexed with, right? Christ and the disciples. Let's read on. Send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, so now, when the disciples came to Christ and they came to ask him, you know, Salakia, sir, Baba Kashar, you could just send this broad away. You know what I mean? Christ, he looked, you know what I mean? And then he said, you know, he responded to the woman. He stopped holding his peace. He stopped ignoring her. And then he said something to her. All right. And this is what he said. Let's read on. But he answered and said, I am not sent. Meaning what? Meaning I did not come. You know what I mean? I was not sent here. Right. But with the exception of one thing, unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? Meaning what? This is clearly Christ acknowledging that this woman is not an Israelite. Okay? That's why he's communicating this to her. He's saying, I am not sent. Listen, I did not come. Right? But unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You know what I mean? To the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You know what I mean? The brothers and sisters that's out here, the same way. That's why we go out on these streets and we drop the truth. And when we drop the truth, we go out there with the sole intention of delivering the message, whatever message we trying to drop, to the 12 tribes that make up the nation of Israel. So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. You understand? We got whole 12 tribes signed out there when we rocking at camp. You know what I mean? And it shows Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, how they identify today and who they biblically are, what tribe they belong to biblically, you know what I mean, on that chart, you know what I mean? So you'll see Judah, and then it correlates with the Negroes. You see Ephraim, and it correlates with the Puerto Ricans. You understand? Showing that. You know what I mean? Why do we have to do that? We have to do that because so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians don't know who they are. They suffering from an identity crisis. You know what I mean? That's why you got the so-called Puerto Ricans calling themselves a port of riches. You know what I mean? Which is a title that was given to them by the slave master, by the colonizer. You know what I mean? Christopher Columbus and all them conquistadors that came over there and robbed them of all their wealth, all the gold and what have you. You understand? That's why you got black people calling themselves black when black is not an identity, it's a color. You know what I mean? But why do we call ourselves that? Because of the slave master and that title that he's given us. You know what I mean? And we was forced to assimilate to that. So that's why we got to come out. That's why we sent out here in these streets. We sent out here in these streets to get brothers and sisters that's lost. You know what I mean? That's who we out here trying to fix. You know what I mean? That's who we out here trying to heal. You know what I mean? We trying to heal the brothers and sisters that don't know who they are, that don't know their identity, that don't know their heritage. All right? Which is what Christ and the disciples were doing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if there's a people on the earth that mercy should be had on, it's Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The mercy should be had on the Hispanic tribes that are, you know, in detention centers. You know what I mean? The Hispanic tribes who they locking away in cages right now. You understand? Mercy should be had on the so-called black and Hispanic brothers and sisters that are murdered brutally in the streets by the police officers without proper cause. You know what I mean? Maybe we should have mercy on those people. The brothers and sisters that's impoverished, living in the projects with roaches and rats, and, you know what I mean, don't know when they going to get their next meal. You know what I mean? The sister that is contemplating an abortion because she don't have enough money to, you know, provide for that child. You know what I mean? So she has to contemplate an abortion. She has to contemplate to murder her child. If there's anybody that needs mercy in the earth, it's Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. You understand? And that's why we go out there and we drop this truth on Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. You know what I mean? And then hopefully the Lord will have mercy on them and let them receive this truth, man. Because this truth is a wonderful thing. You understand? While everybody's out here panicking in the midst of the coronavirus, all the brothers and sisters in the Isupk, you know, we have a mind at peace. You know what I mean? Our mind is completely at peace, one void of fear. You know what I mean? While everybody else is in fear, we are fearless. You know what I mean? The Father we fear. We don't fear nobody but the Most High, man. You know what I mean? If the Lord want to kill, you know what I mean? If the Lord want to take you out of the game, he's going to take you out, and that's it. You know what I mean? We don't give a dang about that. However, you know, that's why we have to go out here, man. You know what I mean? When you come up in this truth, the Lord, you know, he will not allow you to be subject to the coronavirus. He won't allow you to contract that coronavirus. The Lord will keep you in safety while everybody else is unsafe. All right? But let's read on. But he answered not a word, but he answered and said, I am not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now, Christ came to fix brothers and sisters that's destroyed, man. You know what I mean? That's what we came to fix, the destroyed brothers and sisters in Israel, man. Like, we don't have no time, like, to be dealing with these other nations like that, man. You know what I mean? They have a military. They have a military to fight, you know, their enemies. They have you know, they have a whole kingdom that is fully functional, and you know, as like a well-oiled machine. However, the Lord is, he's shaking that up a little bit. But you have an economy that you can try to protect. What economy do Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians have to protect? You know what I mean? Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. Right? So now the broad come back again. She pleading the case once again before the king. But he answered and said, it is not meat. Meat is an old Quaker English word that means good. So Christ said it is not good, let's read on, to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. So Christ said it's not good to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. You know what I mean? Like Christ didn't come here to heal the other nations. That wasn't his purpose. That's not the reason he was sent. You know what I mean? He wasn't sent here to, make sure all the nations on the earth are doing wonderfully. All right? Christ's mission was to feed the children of Israel, to make sure that they had that, they had that instruction. They was given that truth. You know what I mean? They was fed, they was clothed. You know what I mean? That's what Christ came here to do. He came to give it up for the 12 tribes of Israel, man. All right? And you see, he acknowledged it's not a good thing to, take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. All right? Bear with me 1 second. Let's read on. All right. And she said, truth, Lord. So she said, true that. You know what I mean? She acknowledged that what Christ said is the truth. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. You know what I mean? The dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from the master's table. What would them crumbs be? The crumbs would be like equivalent to Section 8, WIC, SNAP benefits. You know what I mean? All of that. That's what the crumbs would be equivalent to. All right. Then Yahushua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. So now we have this. Well, I don't want to jump ahead of myself. All right. Great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. All right. Her daughter was made whole from that very hour. So Christ, ultimately, he did wind up healing her daughter, right? But there was a reason as to why he healed her daughter. Because initially, he was not going to heal her, right? He was not going to heal the woman that lived in Canaan, that came and pleading or whatever you for him to heal her daughter. He was not going to heal her. You understand? But ultimately, he did heal her. All right. We'll find out why that is. All right. So let's go to Mark 7, and we'll start at verse 25. All right. No sweat. So now you got this is the second account, right? This is further proof that this actually happened. You know what I mean? In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, right? You got Matthew, and Mark's account. All right? So that's what we're going to read. We're going to read Mark's account of what happened in Matthew the 15th chapter, all right? Let's read on. Slap. Mark 7 and 25. Mark 7 and 25. All right. Right here, the page is kind of sticking. Let's get it. Okay. Mark chapter 7, verse 25. For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit. Right? This is that woman of Canaan, right? Meaning that she was just a citizen in the land of Canaan, right? Let's read on. For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell at his feet, right? So this broad, she heard of the woman of Canaan. She heard about Christ, you know what I mean? And she came and she fell at his feet, like we read about previously. All right, let's read on. The woman was a Greek. The woman what? The woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation. You understand? So this was a Greek woman, a Syrophoenician by nation. You know what I mean? This was a white woman that came up to Christ and was asking to heal her daughter. Let's read on. And she besought him that he would cast forth Shalakia. And she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. Right? As we read, you understand? This was what she was requesting from Christ, was to heal her daughter, right? To cast that devil out of her daughter. But Yahweh Shai, we're going to see, whenever you see Jesus, just say Yahweh Shai, right? If you with me, just rock with me on that, okay? But Yahweh Shai said unto her, let the children first be filled, for it is meet to take the children's bread and cast it unto the dogs. All right? It's not good to take the children's bread and cast it on the dogs. You know what I mean? Let's read on. And she answered and said unto him, this is her response. Yes, Lord. And this is very important. Her response in 28. Yes, Lord. Yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs. Now let's get this right and exact, all right? Let's get it right and exact. And let's bring it to where we at right now. Imagine speaking to somebody and they refer to you in a metaphorical sense as a dog. You understand? And you respond acknowledging that you are a dog, metaphorically speaking. Right? That's what this Canaanite, what this Salakia, that's what this Greek woman, Syrophoenician by nation, did. You understand? Let's read on though. And he said unto her, for this saying, right? So now this was Christ's response. For this saying. Meaning what? What saying? Her saying that yes, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs. Right? Now Christ says, and he said unto her, for this saying, go thy way, the devil is gone out of thy daughter. Right? So why did Christ heal her daughter? For this saying. when she acknowledged that she was a dog. You understand? That's what provoked Christ to heal her daughter. When she understood her rightful place in the earth as someone that could be likened to a dog, Christ said, "For this saying, go thy way, thy daughter is healed." You know what I mean? This meaning this is the reason why I'm doing this. All right. You know what I mean? I know you was begging and pleading before, but the only reason I'm healing your daughter is why? The reason why I'm healing your daughter is because you acknowledged your rightful place in this kingdom. You know what I mean? You acknowledged where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be on the bottom. I'm supposed to be on the top, along with the whole nation of Israel. All right? That's why Christ said that. Let me see if we're going to read any more on that. Let's go down to... That's it on that, right? You understand? So, as you can tell, as you can see, man, Christ wasn't so easily persuaded into healing her daughter, to having mercy or, on somebody that was not an Israelite. All right? Let's go to Matthew, right? I'll go to Matthew 10, and we'll start at 34, all right? Matthew 10, with me, I'll get that. The reason why we're getting this is because we're showing that, separation is in the Bible. You know what I mean? What they would call racism, but, we not really calling it that. You know what I mean? It's in the Bible. I mean, Christ was, he was a pro-black revolutionary. Christ, he was pro-black. You understand? And it was a wonderful thing. You know what I mean? The same way that the brothers and sisters in the ISUPK today, we are pro-black. You know what I mean? I know you think the Black Panthers are pro-black. I know you think, whatever, Kemet movement or Egyptology movement. I know you think those people are pro-black. You know what I mean? And Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X, or what have you. I know you think that's pro-black, but they don't scratch the surface when it comes to being pro-black like a man of the Lord. You understand? They don't scratch the surface. You know what I mean? Because these same Black Panthers, these same Egyptologists, these same pro-black Muslims, so-called pro-black Muslims, they'll all sleep with a white woman. You know what I mean? They'll stick their rod in a white woman. You know what I mean? They'll all come to the aid of that white woman. You know what I mean? When that's not pro-black. Pro-black is, pro-black is marrying a woman that comes from your bloodline. You know what I mean? That comes from your people. That's what being pro-black is. Like, how are you pro-black and you dealing with white men? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. But Christ was pro-black, and his intention was to help Black and Hispanics. You know what I mean? So let's read on. Let's get to it in Matthew 10 and 34. All right. That's right. Let me see. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Yeah, here we go. So this is Christ speaking, all right? Think not. What did Christ say? Christ said, think not. In what? Don't think this. Don't think this thing. All right? That I am come to send peace on the earth. So Christ said, don't think that I came to send peace on the earth. All right? Christ did not come to send peace on the earth. All right? I came not to send peace. Shalakia. But a sword. You know what I mean? Christ didn't come to send peace on the earth, but he came to but a sword. You know what I mean? What is a sword used for? A sword is used to cut things. You know what I mean? Divide things. You take a sword right now, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like you take this blade right here. You know what I mean? If I was to take this blade and I put it right here at the spine of these scriptures, and I just chop down, you know what I mean? That's gonna separate. You know what I mean? It's gonna separate these two portions where I've severed it, man. All right. Christ said, "I'm not come to send peace, but a sword." All right. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. You understand? He came to set a man at variance against his father. So he set a man against his father, not unified with his father, but to set a man at variance with his father. Meaning they're at odds. You understand? They're against each other, in opposition to one another, right? And the daughter against her mother, and he came and likewise with a daughter against her mother, right? And the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law, right? So this is the whole family structure, right? And this whole family structure, Christ's intention here when it comes to the family structure is to divide the family structure. Is to separate them from each other, right? Let's read on. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household, right? Who are your foes? Your foes are your enemies, right? As Christ said, a man's foes shall be they of his own household. You know what I mean? Your enemy is going to be your mother, your father, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, or what have you. That's who is going to be your enemy. You know what I mean? Why is that? Let's read on. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. You know what I mean? That's why Christ came to set a man at variance with his father, mother-in-law, what have you. You know what I mean? The purpose of that is to see who really wants to serve the Most High. Because, of course, as you know what I mean, your family, your friends and your family, they're going to try to pull you back in the world. You know what I mean? They'll try to make you celebrate Christmas. They'll try to make you celebrate Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, Easter. They'll try to get you to go back into the Christian church. You understand? That's why it says, and you love them more than Christ when you go and you cut that turkey with them. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? You jam that turkey all up in your mouth. They're gonna try to get you to eat some pork. You understand? They'll definitely try to get you to eat some pork. Listen, God said, whatsoever going to the mouth, defile thee not. I mean, they try to get you to disobey the Most High and Christ. You know what I mean? They will. And that's why they're going to be your enemies. Why? Because they're enemies of the Most High. They're enemies of Christ because they don't want to follow Christ. You know what I mean? That's why Christ also said, bring my enemies here that I would not rule over them. You know what I mean? And cut their head off. You know what I mean? Paraphrasing. You understand? because they don't want to serve Christ. They don't want to serve the Most High. You know what I mean? And as a brother or sister that's in this truth, you have to spiritually separate from them. You understand? Because they've been indoctrinated their whole entire life. You know what I mean? They've been in the Christian church or the Muslim mosque their whole entire life. You know what I mean? They've been Americanized. They've assimilated to this society and all of their ways. And, you know, when they see you trying to break free from it, it's like, you know, they want to do their master's will and do everything that they can to get you back on the dark side. You understand? And, you know, while they trying to get you on the dark side, they'll try to demonize you. You understand? And say, you're in a cult. You understand? Or what have you. This cat is in a cult. He's evil. He's satanic. You know what I mean? What kind of rituals? They hate white man and, you know what I mean? They'll try to find anything to demonize you. You know what I mean? When in reality, you serve Christ and the Most High more than they ever would or will. They ever could or will. You understand? But they, you know what I mean? They definitely Satan's angels. You know what I mean? They do the will of their father, the devil. Ye are of your father, the devil. You know what I mean? That's who they do the will of. They do the will of their father, the devil. They love that white Jesus. You understand? They believe, you know, they believe that all races should come together and God loves everybody and, you know, or what have you. All of these things that Christianity has imposed on them. You know what I mean? And they want you to continue living in that sin with them. You know what I mean? But Christ came to find out. He came to find out we're the real brothers and sisters that truly want to serve me. You know what I mean? Who's not going to put their daughter or their son or their niece or their nephew or grandchild before me when it comes to celebrating a birthday or Christmas or any of these holidays like Easter that they say is for the kids, it's for the kids. You understand? Who's really going to come to serve me? You know what I mean? You know, yeah, that child is going to be sad. You know what I mean? But that's a necessary sacrifice. You understand? And if you unwilling to make that sacrifice, if you're not willing to, if you're unable to restrain yourself from purchasing a gift for Thanksgiving, if you're unable, I'm Salaki, not Thanksgiving. That's how twisted I am with them goddamn holidays. You know what I mean? If you're unable to restrain yourself from purchasing, you know, your daughter or your son a gift for their birthday or Christmas, unable to restrain yourself from dragging them up in that Christian church on Easter Sunday and, you know, doing a whole little Easter thing, whatever they doing on Easter, that little stupidity act. You know what I mean? If you're unable to restrain yourself from that, then you're not worthy to serve Christ. You're not worthy of Christ and the sacrifice that he came and he gave for our people. You know what I mean? Because of course Christ died to bring the nation of Israel back to the Most High. You know what I mean? And if you're unable to separate and you to do the little thing, like these are small things that are being asked. If you're unable to separate from those little things, then surely you're not worthy of the sacrifice that Christ made. Alright? You could live in your wickedness, man. And as a brother or sister that's trying to stay in this truth or come up in this truth, when you come up in here, don't let your family, you know, be the determining factor as to why you get pulled up out of this truth. You got to be strong. You got to be stronger than, you know, they're strong in their wickedness. You know what I mean? You got to get strong in the truth. You got to get deeply rooted inside of this truth. So that way you don't get easily uprooted when they try to pull you out with their wickedness and get you to join them in it. You understand? You got to make sure we get up on that right. You know what I mean? But let's read on. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. You understand? And he that taketh up not his cross. Now, a Christian might pull this and say, see, it says right here, he that taketh up his cross is not worthy of me. You know what I mean? Like a cross that you wear on your goddamn neck. That's how carnal the Christian church, that's how the carnal they are in the Christian church. They think that Christ is talking about you wearing a cross on your goddamn neck. You know what I mean? He that taketh up not his cross, and you know what I mean, Christ is talking right now. Was Christ even crucified at this time? You understand? You know what I mean? They talking about, this mean to wear a cross on your neck. Gold jewelry cross. Absolute insanity. That's how stupid and carnal they are in that church, man. But what it is talking about, when Christ said, and he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. What he's talking about is that burden. He's talking about this truth. This truth is a burden to you. This truth will burden you. You know what I mean? And that's how it's supposed to be. And it's beautiful like that. You understand? The truth is going to burden you. So get ready for it. All right? Like you come to camp, you want to come to camp. It's camp. That can't be a burden to some brothers, man. Some brothers want to stay in the house with their rib and their kids, or what have you, and just have family time. You know what I mean? But however, when it comes time for this truth, we got to put off all selfish desires and get straight to the business. If it's time to go to camp, it's time to go to camp. You know what I mean? It burden you, You might want to sleep with your woman on a Friday night, but you got camp in the morning. You understand? So you're gonna have to refrain from laying with your woman until after the camp. You understand? Because of course, if you did sleep with your woman on a Friday night, then on the Saturday, you would be unclean. Until sundown. You don't understand what I'm saying? So that's a burden also. You got to plot and plan when you gonna lay with your woman. You understand? Vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So, the things that we doing it's a burden. You know what I mean? It's a burden, definitely. You know what I mean? For brothers, when they come up in here, you come in fresh off that slavery, and you got to go to class. You understand? You got to go to class when you come in fresh off the slavery. You might not want to teach that class. You might want to go to sleep. However, you're going to teach that goddamn class. You know what I mean? If you want to be worthy of Christ, you understand? You better get up on that thing. Ain't no goddamn excuse I had to slavery. You understand? That's a horrible excuse. You mean to tell me you got more respect for the slavery than we do for the work of the Most High? That's an unthinkable thing right there. I hope not. You know what I mean? And followeth after me is not worthy of me. You know what I mean? Like, and then another thing too. Let me read it one more time. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. Like, and you know what I mean? Like, some people, they don't want to deal with being told that they in the cult, they in the hate group, or what have you. You know what I mean? They gonna talk about you. They're going to talk about you. People are going to hate you. They're not going to like you, or what have you. You know what I mean? You're going to lose relationships that you had with certain brothers and sisters in the world, or them same brothers, or them same people that's in your household. You know what I mean? Your mother, your father, your wife, your children. You know what I mean? Whoever. Let me see. Oh, let me drop that though. All right. The precept in Micah 7 and 6. Do I want to go there? I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. So let's go to Matthew 25 and 32. All right. Go to Matthew 25 and 32. All right. 25 and 32. Let me see where I want to start on this. Okay. Bear with me, Salaga. I just want to make sure I start. Well, let's start at 31. When the Son, Salakia, Matthew 25 and 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him. Meaning what? Meaning that when the return of Christ is, right? When Christ cracked that sky with the 200 million angels ready to execute vengeance, right? Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, right? Because shortly after that, you know what I mean, Christ is going to reign forever on this earth. You know what I mean? After all these nations are brought to nothing by Christ and the angels, the army of the Most High, Christ is going to reign after that eternally. The Most High's reign will be eternal on this earth. All right? When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations. Right? So before him shall be gathered all nations, right? So this is talking about Christ, and they say when he comes back, you know what I mean, and he handle his business, you know what I mean, then it's going to be gathered all nations, right? So these is all different peoples, correct? And he shall separate them. He shall what? He shall separate them. You know what I mean? Christ is going to separate the nations. You understand? I thought Christ was going to join the nations. He shall separate them one from another. You understand? Christ is going to separate the nations one from another. He's not going, it ain't going to be everybody holding hands in solidarity. You know what I mean? Christ is going to separate them. All the nations of the earth, one from another. All right? Let's read on. As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. Right? Salaki. As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. Right? As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. What did Christ say in Matthew 15 and 24? He said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You understand? This sheep that is talking about right here is talking about the Israelites. All right? So he said, Salakia, as a shepherd divideth the sheep from his sheep from the goats. You know what I mean? Who are the goats? Well, let's get that real quick, all right? Let's find out who the goats are. All right? Let's go to Daniel, Salakia, 8 and 21 and find out who the goat is talking about. Let's hold this. So we're going to hold this in Matthew 15, Salakia, Matthew 25 and 32. All right, and we're gonna go to Daniel 8 and 21. All right, go to Daniel 8 and 21. Like separation is all segregation, separation, however you want to call it, is all over the scriptures, man. Understand? You know what I mean? That's why Christians they like to say that, a lot of brothers and and sisters as well don't like to deal with the scriptures because, what I mean, they say that, our slave master gave that to us when he had us in the cotton field picking his cotton. You understand? But what they did give us was not these scriptures. You know what I mean? They gave us Christianity. You know what I mean? Christianity doesn't teach out of the Bible. Christianity is a, you know, a philosophy. You know what I mean? Christianity is something that you just grab this Bible right here and you just have it like this. And you don't look in it, you know what I mean? You don't read out of it too often unless you can find something that fits what you want to say. You know what I mean? And you just hold this thing open and you look holy and you just keep talking. You know what I mean? And, you know, whatever you want, that's what you can say, and then you can rob everybody's money. You know what I mean? But of course, when you're dealing with these scriptures and you actually read what's inside of it, you'll see that the Most High is not for integration. You'll see that Christ is not for integration. You'll see that the disciples of Christ was not for integration. You see that the prophets of old was not for integration. You understand? Like, it's all over the scriptures with whatever way you want to slice it, it's in there. All right, so let's go to Daniel 8:21 and find out who the goats are. All right, that were referenced in Matthew 25:32. All right, Daniel chapter 8 and verse. Which one I said? Salakia. 21. Salakia. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia. You understand? The rough goat is the king of Grecia. Who are the Grecians? The Grecians are, you know, white people. Salakia. You know what I mean? That's who the Greeks are. When you go in history and you look at who the Greeks are, the Greeks were, you know, Europeans. They were white people. You understand? Salakia. So Christ said in Matthew 25:32, we're going to go back there now. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. You understand that? A shepherd divided the sheep from the goats. So Christ is going to separate the Israelites from the white man. You understand? He's going to divide them just like a shepherd divided the sheep and the goats. And he's going to put the sheep over here, and he's going to put the goats over there. Let's read on. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. You understand? This is what Christ is going to tell the Israelites that follow him, man. Come, you know what I mean? Blessed of my father. Come inherit this earth, man. You know what I mean? Come have rulership and dominion and dwell with me in rulership in this earth, all right? Let's read on. Then shall the king say unto them on his right, Salakia, For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. Oh, this is the one right here. Let me see if I want to drop. Bear with me. That was it on that. You understand? That was it on that. So let's drop that, right? Drop that, and let's go to Revelation. We're gonna go to Revelation. All right. Revelation 18 and 4. All right. I'm going to go to Revelation 18 and 4. All right. Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people. Come out of her. Come out of who? Come out of America. You understand? Come out of this earth, man. Come out of all the, wherever you at on this earth. If you with them tribes, you know what I mean? Come up out of this. Come up out of this earth. You understand? That's why I say my people. That's possessive. You understand? Talking about who's Christ's people? Christ's people. If the Israelites, that's who Christ's people are. You know what I mean? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. You the people of Christ. All right. Come out of her, my people. And how do you come out of her? How do you come out of her? As we was discussing before, you come out of America by separating from America spiritually. I'm not telling you to go run to Africa. I'm not telling you to go run back to Israel or nothing like that. You know what I mean? That's not what's being said here. What is being said is to spiritually separate from this kingdom. Spiritually separate from this kingdom that you're living in. All right? Meaning what? Meaning stop using drugs. Stop using and abusing that weed. Stop smoking all different kind of weed and popping Molly, Zans, and Percocets. You understand? Come up out of that being an alcoholic. You understand? Raise up out of that. Stop selling drugs, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Stop flipping them birds or whatever you doing. All right? Our women got to stop aborting their babies. Stop putting brothers on child support. You know what I mean? Learn to cover up, dressed in modest apparel. You know what I mean? Brothers can't be putting away sisters. You know what I mean? You lay with that sister, that's your joint for life. You feel what I'm saying? No more sleeping around and, you know what I mean, having illicit sex. You know what I mean? You sleeping with this man and you got a man already. Or you sleeping with another man's woman. You sleeping with your best friend's woman. You know what I mean? Horrible. Come out of her. That's the way of these heathen nations, man. That ain't our way. You know what I mean? We have laws that govern us. We got a whole system of laws from the Most High that govern us. And when you come back to following them, they're gonna separate you instantly from this kingdom. You understand? You'll instantly be separated from this kingdom. And you'll notice the separation. Because now, when it blunts in rotation, you falling out the circle. You know what I mean? You ain't in the cipher. You know what I mean? You fell all the way back. You ain't even over there because now all they want to do is smoke weed. All they want to do is, smoke this weed, sell these drugs, rob brothers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Just live it evil and be around whores and have whores everywhere. And you know what I mean? You come up out of that. You want to separate yourself from that. You'll no longer be in that mix. You'll start to just slowly just drift away. Because you understand that these brothers in the world, you know what I'm saying, although you may love them, all these sisters in the world, although you may love them, you'll understand that they're not healthy for you. You know what I mean? And if you want to serve the Most High, if you want to follow Christ, you know what I mean, you're going to have to just get away from them. It's probably just going to be the best bet. You know what I mean? You can't be around them because they're lawless. You know what I mean? There's no telling what they might do. You have one of them in your car or something like that. They might have a you might got work on them and a whole pistol. You understand? You got work and a pistol on you in your car. Unnoticed. You didn't notice it. You get pulled over by the police. They got the crack and the gun on them. You know what I mean? It's not a good look. You understand? Got to separate from it. Just come up out of that. You know what I mean? Sisters going to the clubs and they just go in there and they want, you know what I mean? They want to get busted wide open. You understand? And you ain't no longer going to the club with them sisters no more because now you see, you know what I mean? Dang, we just going to go out here. We're going to get excessively drunk. You know what I mean? And whore ourselves out to whatever man, you know what I mean, got a car and some weed and some more liquor can take us back home. You know what I mean? Like, you'll separate from them sisters, man. And all you want to do is, you know what I mean? Sisters want to just sit around and gossip and things of that nature, and you no longer want to gossip. You no longer want to be a sister that's backbiting another sister. You know what I mean? You're going to separate yourself from that. Come up out of that. You know what I mean? Get away from that. You understand? Like, you know what I mean? That's how you come up out of this kingdom. Don't support what they support. Support what the Lord does. The Most High is, He supports, straight pride. You know what I mean? Don't support gay pride. Support straight pride. The Most High did not intend for the same sex to have sex with each other. You know what I mean? The Most High intended for opposite sex to have sex with each other. You know what I mean? That's how he wanted it. That's how he intended it to be. You know what I mean? Separate from that homosexuality lifestyle. You know what I mean? Or separate yourself from the, being around that type of energy. Those that promote it. You know what I mean? Maybe you was in a Black Lives Matter organization or something like that. You know what I mean? And that's, once again, that's why you can't be pro-black if you're not in the Israelite school or UPK. Because you'll think that you're pro-black, and yet you'll support homosexuality, you'll support abortion, you know what I mean? You'll support women putting men on child support or what have you. You'll condone all of these things when in actuality you think you're pro-black, but reality says that you're not, because you condone these things. You know what I mean? But if you want to be pro-black, you want to be, of the Most High, you better get up inside of this body, man. You know what I mean? But let's read on. Come out of her, my people, that ye may not be partakers of her sins. Right? You may not be partakers of her sins. Right? Meaning, like, you ain't out there, like we said, flying the flag inside of the gay parade. You know what I mean? You got out there on Hemp Day in the Commons on all kinds of weed and drugs at night. Me and Isaiah walked through there one day by accident. You understand? When that was going on, I had a cat ask me if I want some acid. I said, what the heck is going on down here? Acid? Y'all out here, Salaki. Y'all out here doing acid? You in the Boston Commons getting high, being a fiend, being an absolute fiend, smoking acid or whatever you do with acid. You know what I mean? Smoking acid, popping pills, you know what I mean? Smoking all manners of weed, getting high, and you know what I mean? Probably shooting dope in your veins. Who knows? Lord knows. But it's a horrible thing. Don't be partakers of her sins, man. You know what I mean? Come up out of that. Alright? And that ye receive not of her plagues. Like, for the purpose of that you don't receive of her plagues. You know what I mean? The Most High is plaguing this camp. Donald Trump called it a plague his damn self. You know what I mean? He referred to it as a plague. You know what I mean? Knows who this thing is coming from. If you don't want the coronavirus, separate from America. Separate from Christianity, separate from Islam, separate from, all the ideology of America, you know what I mean? Separate from the thing. And then what you want to do is you want to marry yourself to this truth. You understand? You want to come together with this truth. You want to join yourself to the truth. You know what I mean? Everything that the truth has to offer and teaches, that's what you want to become. You know what I mean? That's what you want to put inside of you. After you remove all of the evil things out of you that was put in there from this kingdom, then you want to eject all of that and then put what the Lord laid down for you inside of you. You know what I mean? And that's how you'll escape the coronavirus. I saw a sister online the other day, had a mask and gloves on, and she's sitting there crying, talking about she don't know how she got the coronavirus. She been walking around with a mask on. She been wearing the gloves, but she don't know how she got the dang coronavirus. You know what I mean? How did she get the coronavirus? Because the Lord gave her the coronavirus. It don't matter if you put on a mask. It don't matter if you put on no gloves or what have you. That's not going to prevent you from getting the virus. What is going to prevent you from getting that virus, though, is provoking the Most High. Provoking the Most High to not want to kill you. Because that's who has the power over life and death. The Lord does. The Lord can decide whether you live or you die. You understand? You want to live? Well, no sweat. You know what I mean? When you go and you do your little shopping amidst the whole pandemic, you know what I mean? Because there's a whole lot of shopping going on. Make sure you don't throw no pork, crab, shrimp, or lobster in your cart. You understand? Make sure you don't throw no unlawful food up inside of that cart. You know what I mean? Because you put that unlawful food inside of that cart, you go ahead and you trying to eat that, the Lord will kill you. He will decide to kill you. You know what I mean? You get that abortion, I mean, you can't now. You know what I mean? But you get that abortion, the Lord will kill you. You know what I mean? You know, we don't want our people to die, but if you don't want to die, we're giving you the proper solution for that. All right? So come back and serve the Lord. It's quite simple. You understand? It's quite simple. Let's see. For her sins have reached unto heaven. Like, listen, the Most High has been getting report of what's been going on inside of this kingdom. You know what I mean? You see all the evil that's going on inside of this kingdom, that's going on, you know, with our oppressor and how he's oppressing us continuously inside of this hell. You know what I mean? The Lord is getting a report of that, man. He's seeing the wrong that's being done to the Hispanic tribes. You know what I mean? He sees the wrong being done to them. He's getting a report on it. You know what I mean? They have reached unto heaven. And God have remembered her iniquities. You know what I mean? Most High didn't forget about slavery. Although we may have forgot about slavery and we want to get past it and move on to bigger and better things and, you know, work on becoming peaceable with each other. You know what I mean? Although we forgot about slavery, the Most High did not forget about slavery. The Most High doesn't forget about them 350,000 babies aborted on a yearly basis. The Most High didn't forget about Margaret Sanger. He didn't forget about Obama. You know what I mean? The Most High didn't forget about the 77 million Native American Indians that were murdered by the white man. You understand? The Most High didn't forget about all the rape, you know what I mean, of his chosen people. He didn't forget about how his people were raped to the point of no end. You know what I mean? He didn't forget about that. He's remembered it. You know what I mean? Reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Listen. Man, this makes me want to pull another scripture. I don't want to go off. I don't want to go off, though. Reward her even as she rewarded you. You know what I mean? How did she reward us? She rewarded us. America rewarded us by pumping bullet holes in our backs for having a cell phone. You know what I mean? By putting bullet holes in our babies for playing with cap guns in the park, like all kids do. You know what I mean? That's how America rewarded us. By lynching our women and hanging them in the cell. You know what I mean? Or lynching us in the tree. You know what I mean? Freaking Ku Klux Klan. Rewarded as she had rewarded double. Enslaved us. Reward her as she reward thee double. You enslave black people, you're going to be a slave. You murder black people, you're going to be murdered. No, sloppy. I won't say murdered. You'll be killed for murdering black people. You know what I mean? As a punishment to the crime that you committed. That crime of murder. You understand? You will be killed. You will get lethal injection when Christ returns. Alright? Let's see. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna drop right there because I don't want to go out. I'm trying to do the separation. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go into that a little later. You know what I'm saying? And later in the week, that is. You understand? So, let's drop that. All right. We'll drop that, and we'll go to. Bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to run through it. All right. Spot. I will. So I guess we'll go to Deuteronomy. Go to Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. All right. Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. Salakia. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. All right. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Right? It said that we are holy people. Now, this is we. Salakia. You know what I mean? But let's get what holy means in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. All right. This is a tool that we are required to have in our arsenal as UPK soldiers. All right. Absolutely required to have this. We refer to it as the deuce. You know what I mean? Because you could take this little thing anywhere with you, and you're gonna be straight. You know what I mean? Have that thing with you. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the 22. I got the little deuce on me right now. We about to pull holy in the scriptures. All right? No. Where's it at? Holiness. Oh, Salakia. Zonda. Oh, where my 230. Zonderville Van Compact Bible Dictionary, page 230. Holiness. Holy. Usually translate words derived from Hebrew root, meaning separateness, withdrawal. You know what I mean? Separateness, withdrawal. That's what holy means. Separateness, withdrawal, take away from something. You know what I mean? Like if you was having withdrawals as a drug addict, that's because why? Because they took the drug away from you, or you took the drug away from yourself. You know what I mean? And your body is without it. You know what I mean? But separateness, withdrawal. You know what I mean? That's what you know what I mean? It says that we are a separate, withdrawn. The Lord done took us away from all the other people. You know what I mean? He took us out of all these. He's taken us out of all these other nations. You know what I mean? He chose us. You understand? For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Shalaki. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people. All right? They've chosen us to be a special people. All right? What does that mean? That means special. To be special means to be superior in some type of way. You know what I mean? That's what it means to be special. So, Salakia. The Lord said we are special people. So we are superior to these other nations. You know what I mean? When it as far as how the Lord sees it, we are superior to them in comparison. All right, let's read on. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth, right? So here we think that we're supposed to have equality when if you just look at it, man, that is not even a real concept. You know what I mean? You think equality is real. You know what I mean? How could equality be real when we live in the projects and they living in the hills of Los Angeles in a mansion somewhere? You know what I mean? How do you have equality? How is the concept of equality real when what I mean? You have poor and you have rich and you have the middle class, you have high middle class, low middle class. You understand? How could that be so then? How are we all equal? We are not all equal. You know what I mean? And the Lord doesn't want us to all be equal. But the Lord wants us to be above all people on the face of the earth. You know what I mean? What does it mean to be above all people? It means to rule over all people. You know what I mean? When you over somebody, you know what I mean? That means that you have authority over that person. You know what I mean? You tell that person what to do, and they do it. You know what I mean? They're not above you. You know what I'm saying? You the one that is over them. I mean, you tell them what to do or what have you, and you're the one that's in control. You know what I mean? When you're above someone, you have more power than them when you are above them. You understand? Let's read on. Where we at? That's pretty much it on that one. All right. So we'll drop that. All right. Let's go to Leviticus 20 and 24. All right. Leviticus 20 and 24. Okay. Leviticus. Oh, it's a lot. I don't want to let me get Leviticus, huh? Flip this way. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 24. All right. Come on now. Salaki. All right, let's get it. '20 and 24. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it. All right. A land that floweth with milk and honey. I am the Lord, your God, which have separated you from other people. You know what I mean? Like America is falling right now. Its kingdom is falling. There's a time coming when, they're going to be so destroyed, where we're going to just take over the whole earth. All the land, we're going to take over all the land, man. You know what I mean? But the Lord said, He said, I am the Lord your God. He is the Most High, our power. You know what I mean? Which have separated. Shalaki. Which have separated you from other people. You understand? Most High separated us from these other people. He separated us from the East Indians. He separated us from the Arabs, the Africans. He separated us from the Europeans. He separated us from them all. You understand? He didn't join us together with them, but he separated us from them. Let's read on. Ye shall therefore put a difference between clean. Or what's that one I want to get? Salakia. Let's go to 26. Salakia. And ye shall be holy unto me, like we talked about. What does holy mean? Holy means separate, withdrawn, right? And the Lord's requiring, he's requiring this thing of us, that we be holy unto him. All right? And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy. We supposed to be just like the Most High. What does the scripture say? Be perfect, therefore, as your Father is in heaven. You know what I mean? Paraphrasing it. You know what I mean? That's the perfection. That's how we need to be. You know what I mean? Be perfectly separated, like the Most High is perfectly separated. And have severed you from other people. And have severed. And this is how you be holy like the Most High. The way that you be holy like the Most High is holy is by separating yourself from these other people, from these other nations. Not sticking your rod in a Chinese broad. Not sticking your rod in a white woman. You know what I mean? Vice versa, if you a sister. You know what I mean? Not letting a white man stick his rod in you. Or an African man or whatever. You know what I mean? You stay separate from these other people. You understand? You don't join them in their religious doctrines. You know what I mean? Have their religious doctrines. That's not something that you want to unify yourself with spiritually. You know what I mean? You want to stay separate from whatever deity, whatever falsified deity that these other nations are worshiping. You know what I mean? Refrain from joining yourself with the other nations to worship a rock. You understand? Because you surely will be worshiping a rock, and you surely will be worshiping, what do they call them? Rosemary beads or whatever they call them. Little beads that they put on their neck, the wooden beads. They think got powers and they'll help them in a time of crisis. Separate yourself from these philosophies of these other nations, man. You know what I mean? These other people in their ways. You know what I mean? If they want to be homosexuals, don't you be a homosexual. Be holy like the Most High is holy. Being separate from these other people. If they want to abort their babies, let them abort their babies. That ain't none of your business. You understand? But you don't go abort your babies, and you don't put your man on child support. You understand? Don't do none of that. All right? They want to be drug addicts. You know what I mean? Want to be Ozzy Osbourne? You want to be Kurt Cobain? You know what I mean? All right, no sweat. Let Ozzy Osbourne do all the drugs he want to do. Let Kurt Cobain do all the drugs he want to do. You know what I mean? Most High in Christ. But don't you be a fiend. Don't be a drug addict. All right? Like them. You be separate from other people. All right? Let's read on. That ye should be mine. Right? That ye should be mine. Now, when we come back, when we listen, when we put down the blunt, you know what I mean? We put down the bottle. You know, it's not unlawful to drink, but I'm saying we put down the bottle, like alcoholic style bottle. You know what I mean? Alcohol poison bottle. You know what I mean? Now, we be called back to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? The Lord will acknowledge us as his own. You know what I mean? He'll acknowledge us as his. I mean, right now, we of our father, the devil, we do whatever Salaki. We do whatever our slave master, our oppressor tells us to do. Whatever he says is right, that's what we think is right. You know what I mean? So, you separate from, doing what the slave master told you to do. You separate from that, all right? And you come back to doing what the Most High laid down for us through the prophets of old inside of these scriptures. You know what I mean? And you be right where you need to be. And you'll be the Lord's again, all right? With that being said, let's drop that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. All right? Go to 2nd Esdras. Okay. It's in the Apocrypha. Oops. 2nd Esdras 6. And well, we gonna have 2nd Esdras, and then we also gonna go to Isaiah in the 40th chapter. All right. So we're gonna have these two together. Isaiah the 40th chapter, 2nd Esdras 6 and 54. Isaiah the 40th chapter. All right. Yep, there we go. Isaiah 40. Oh yeah, with the 40. Salakia. Let's get it. Let's get it. Isaiah 40, and we're gonna hold Isaiah 40 and 17. All right. 40 and 17. 6 and 54. 2nd Esdras 6 and 54, and Isaiah 40 and 17. That is. All right. Here we go. 40, 17. All right, no sweat, no sweat. Let's see, I want to get it. All right, let's read it. 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. All right, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Was Adam named the Lord of creatures? Why do you have that title? Because Adam, you know what I mean, the Lord tasked Adam to be responsible for naming the fowls of the air, the creeping things, and the thing that's swimming in the ocean. You understand? All right, that's why he was Lord of all the creatures. Of him come we all. Of him come we all. Right? So all the nations on the earth that we know today come from Adam. This is a question that will commonly be posed. Don't we all come from the same man? They going back to the beginning of time. They think about a man and a woman. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case, but you know what I mean? Of Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. Of him come we all. You understand? Now, there was a time where the Lord flooded the earth. You understand? The only one was left that was Noah. You know what I mean? Noah, his rib, and his kids. You understand? Now, Noah is the descendant of Adam. You know what I mean? So, we all come from Adam. Okay? Let's read on. And people also whom thou hast chosen. So now, although we all come from Adam, you know what I mean? Whether you African, whether you East Indian, whether you Caucasian, whether you Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, you know what I mean? Of him come we all. However, of all the people of that, you know, come from Adam, and the people also whom thou hast chosen, the Lord has a chosen people out of all those people. A people that he withdrew from the rest of the other people. Understand? The Lord withdrew one people. He chose a people and he took them from the other ones. All right? All right, let me see. As for the other people, Hold on, let me see if I want to get that. Salakia. Yeah, that's it. That's all right. You know what I mean? Let me see. Maybe hold on, Salakia. Yeah. Salakia. We're gonna drop down to 56. As for the other people which also come of Adam, so as for the other people, the people that are not the chosen people, the people that the Most High did not choose out of all these people that came from Adam. Thou hast said, so the Most High said, that they are nothing. You know what I mean? They are nothing. That's what the Most High said. If you're not the people that he didn't choose from the other people on the earth, that he didn't choose, that he withdrew from them, then you are counted as nothing. All right? But be like unto spittle. You know what I mean? Spittle, you might be talking to something like that, or and you see like little particles of spit flying out your mouth. You know what I mean? So I'm like, dang, you spitting when you talk. You know what I mean? Or you do a spit, you spit something out, and then you see the little particles that's flying off to the side. You know what I mean? Like you ain't even the main spit. You that small of a thing to the Most High. All right. But be like unto the spittle. Shalakia. And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Right? He likened the abundance of them as a drop that falleth from a vessel. Like let's say what? Like let's say this cup right here, right? If you was to fill this cup up with water, right? Or you was to fill this cup up with some wine or something like that, and you filled it to the rim, and a little bit spilled down the side, or what have you. You're not really sweating that little something that fell down the side of the cup. You know what I mean? That's why I said he's likening them to a drop that falleth from a vessel, because that drop that fell from that vessel was unimportant. You know what I mean? It's not of any importance to that. I mean, if you was carrying water and you was trying to bring water back from a well or something like that, and a little bit of water fell off on the side during your journey to bring it back to wherever you was going, you know what I mean? You're not going to sweat that little bit that fell off to the side, because that's unimportant, because you still have the main fill, which is what you need, which is the only thing that you care about. You know what I mean? So let's drop that, right? And let's go to Isaiah 40 and 17. All the nations before him are as nothing. You understand? All the nations before the Most High are as nothing. Meaning what? He doesn't care about them. They're nothing to him. If I was to say, you're nothing to me, you know what I mean? That's what the Most High is saying to these other nations. He's saying that, you know, they are nothing. They're counted as nothing. All right? When you take them into account, just count them as nothing. All right? And they are counted to him less than nothing. Right? If you, like, how can you be less than nothing? Right? Like, if you was less than nothing, then that means that you didn't, like, you don't even exist. You understand? Like, so these other nations could be wiped off the map, and the Lord would be unaffected by that. You know what I mean? The Lord would just be completely unaffected. It wouldn't move him in the slightest, because they are less than nothing to him. They could cease to exist, and it wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't sadden the Most High at all. You understand? And vanity, right? What is vanity? Vanity is nothing. You know what I mean? All they want to do is worship these goddamn. They want to worship rocks, and you know they want to worship the sun god. You know what I mean? All of their vanities, man. They ain't about nothing. You don't understand? Let's drop down to 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. The nations are as a drop bucket, meaning what? Like that drop that falleth from that vessel. You understand? You drop a bucket on the ground. Let's say you got a bucket of water and it's filled to the top. You drop that bucket of water on the floor, you know what I mean? Straight up though. Boom. You know what I mean? And as you drop it down, you know what I mean? You get a little splash and it fly off the top. You know what I mean? You get a little wavy up there and it fall off the top. You know what I mean? That's what the Most High, that's how the Most High see these nations. All right? Let's read on. And are counted as the small dust of the balance. And they counted as the small dust of the balance. What's the small dust of the balance? The small dust is the residue. You know what I mean? What's a balance? A balance is like a triple beam balance. It's a scale. You know what I mean? Like before you had the digital scale, you had the triple beam balance. So you know what I mean? Whatever you was going to put on that triple beam, whether it be flour or wheat or whatever type of ingredient that you was, trying to weigh out for whatever purpose, you know what I mean? Once you get the main portion off of the plate on the scale, you know what I mean? What you left with is residue. You get residue from the wheat. You get residue from the flour, the rice. You know what I mean? You got that little residue. But however, that residue is not of any concern. What are you going to do with that residue that's left on the surface of the plate? You know what I mean? That came from the ingredients that you was measuring. What you're going to do is you're just going to clean it off. Clean that thing clean off. Like, boom. You know what I mean? We ain't even sweating that, or just dust it off real quick or something like that. It's not a big thing. You know what I mean? Let's see. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. What are the isles? The isles are like the islands. You understand? So the islands that the other heathen nations occupy, that they have dominion over. You know what I mean? Like the UK, Russia, North Korea, China, America. You understand? Africa. All of these different land masses that the heathen nations occupy and have dominion over, right? The Most High, he said he takes up all of those nations as a very little thing. He takes up all of those islands as a very little thing. You know what I mean? It's no sweat to the Most High dealing with these cats, man. But hold on one second. Check something out real quick. It's going down. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, that's it. It's looking right. You know what I mean? It's looking real right. Salakia. I just got something, a little word from brother, you know what I'm saying? But, God, take up them isles as a very little thing, man. Like, there's nothing to the Most High. So let's drop that, right? And let's go to Psalms 147 and 19, all right? Let's go to Psalms 147 and 19. Hey, wait me 1 second. Psalms 147 and 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, right? Who is Jacob? Who is he? He is talking about the Most High. The Most High is what? Showing his word unto Jacob. Who is Jacob? Jacob, Jacob is the progenitor, the father of the nations of the nation, the tribes that make up the nation of Israel. The 12 tribes make up the nation of Israel. You understand? That's who Jacob is. Jacob wrestled with an angel for a blessing, and his name was changed to Israel. You know what I mean? So they changed Jacob's name to Israel. You know what I mean? He then became the progenitor of the Israelites. All right, which is so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel. You know what I mean? So his laws, the written laws, you know what I mean, that was given to us by Moses, you know what I mean, and the judgments unto Israel. So Moses came, and that's what Moses did. Like, we always had the law, but Moses came and gave us the written law with the judgments that come for breaking those laws. You understand? Like being stoned for adultery or what have you, like that. You know what I mean? If a man still, pay it, if I'm not mistaken, what is it? Sevenfold or something like that. You know what I mean? Pay it back sevenfold or what have you. But that's what it's talking about. Okay? Show of his judgments unto Israel. Alright? Let's read on. He have not dealt so with any nation. He have not dealt so with any nation. Meaning, if you don't deal with everybody equally, what would that make you? According to today's, what they say today. They would say we racist because we don't deal with everybody. You know what I mean? We all only out here teaching blah blah blah, whoop de whoop. You know what I mean? But listen, man, the disciples didn't even teach everybody. Christ ordered his disciples not to teach everyone. Christ only told his disciples to teach the Israelites. You know what I mean? He only dealt with his people. You can see that Christ wasn't even trying to heal the heathen. You know I mean, why? Because he only dealt with his people. And likewise with the Most High. The Most High only dealt with the Israelites. He have not dealt so with any nation. You know what I mean? Not dealt so with them to the capacity as far as, blessing they forefathers, you know what I mean, and blessing their whole nation and giving them laws, statutes, and commandments and judgments or what have you. You know what I mean? The Lord hasn't dealt with anybody else like that but us. You know what I mean? And as for his judgments, they have not known them. They have not known them. So as for his judgments, they have not known them. You understand? They have not known the other nations. Like, you wonder why we number one in high blood pressure and diabetes and, you know what I mean, herpes and what have you, and AIDS and things of that nature. The reason why we number one in all these things is because the Most High is punishing us for breaking his laws. The reason why they're not being, you're not seeing those type of statistics reflect any other nation is because they're not being punished for breaking the Most High's laws. However, we are, as a people, being punished for breaking the Most High's laws. You know what I mean? So they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Praise ye the Most High. Praise the Most High. You understand? You know what I mean? Rakatha Yahweh Shah. You know what I mean? And while you at it, get up in this truth. Come up in here and put it in this work. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna have to wrap this up a little early because we got the mind council. We gonna get up on that thing. So I'm probably wrap at 1:55. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can hold one more scripture. Okay, let's see. Probably pull one more, and then we'll be out. All right. Oh no, because that's pretty long. That's a whole big thing. Yeah, so with that, you know what I'll do? I'll see if there was any questions posted in the joint. If there wasn't any questions posted in, then you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna just wrap this thing up. Alright. I'm gonna just wrap it up. If there were no questions posted. Alright. So that's pretty much it. You understand? If nobody has any questions, what I'll do is I'm gonna roll up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Shalom Yahweh Shemor Elathan Bahashim Yahweh Shah to Sister Ra'aya. You understand? All right.